Hi, Paige. How you doing? Welcome. Trey, welcome. Nick, how's it going?
Hey, Mr. Gettemeyer, how you doing?
Hey, welcome back. Didn't get enough in the curriculum class, eh?
Yes, sir.
Or is it just you're just getting done? That's good.
Yeah. Congrats on your retirement from Hardin. That's awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. It's just ending one journey and getting into another one.
That's right.
Hey, we'll see how that goes. So, all right. What I'm going to go ahead and do is it's 4:31. There's going to be more that are going to be coming in, and we'll address them as they come in. But first of all, welcome to our communication class. This is very odd for me because I love teaching this class, and the reason I love teaching this class is the power of the people that are in it and the power of connection. And so, the seated class, many of you probably have heard from people that have taken the class in the past, and those of you that have not, I get a kick out of making people uncomfortable in the class. I get a kick out of calling people out, just from a standpoint of, as a leader, you're going to be uncomfortable all the time. As an administrator, you're going to be uncomfortable all the time. People are going to call you out all the time, and you got to think on your toes. And so I value this class because I force everyone to communicate. I force everyone to think on their toes. It's in the beginning, it's there's some or get taken out of their comfort zone, but by the end, it usually is a great experience. And so now I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure how we're going to make that happen, but I'm going to do my best to kind of emulate and the kind of things that we do in our regular class virtually. But first of all, I want to let you know what to expect moving forward. I did send out a syllabus, and you'll see on the syllabus, we're not going to meet every Monday and Wednesday virtually. We're going to meet on Wednesdays. We'll meet today, and then we'll meet on Wednesday, kind of kick the class off in a bigger way. But and then we're just going to meet on Wednesdays. I'll be sending out assignments. I'll be sending out things where I'm going to ask you guys to communicate with each other via chats or via the discussion board. But I'm changing the format of the class a little bit because of the way it is. We have to. And so so there will be some activities that I'm going to try to recreate virtually, and we'll see how that goes. But tonight will be my experimental test for that. I did put a syllabus or a syllabus with dates on it, and you can access that in Canvas. So I would encourage you to look at those dates and read through that. We also have a lot of the things that we're going to be doing are already laid out on that piece as well. Each class will have an agenda, and our agenda today is posted as well. So if I share my screen with you and see if I can find my agenda and see if this works. So here would be the agenda, and basically there will be different parts of it, and then we'll talk about the assignments that are within the agenda. So that's pretty simple. Looks like everybody is here. That's good that it said, other than the folks that said they weren't coming. So that's a bonus. I'm assuming everybody's familiar with Canvas, but I'm going to go through a part of it really quickly, and so you guys can see how I format everything in Canvas, just to get some of the boring stuff out of the way right off the bat. And then I'll tell you a little bit about me and what we're going to do. So in Canvas itself, the assignments, you're gonna look a lot at either the announcements or every time that I'm gonna have something happen. I've already sent you out a couple of them. You'll see them. All the assignments are listed in order. in Canvas in terms of what's expected, and we'll talk about that during each assignment. The first one is about me, is really simple. It's just right, and it says 1 to 2 pages. I don't really care about that. A couple of paragraphs about who you are and submit it in Canvas. But then also there's a Google form that I'd like you to fill out, and I use that information on that Google form. So I encourage you to have some fun with that, get creative with that, and some of the answers that you put in there are going to come out throughout the class at a little bit of a later date. The discussions are something that happens after every class. You get credit for those. So make sure that you just have a little bit of input on what happened in class, and then I would like you to react to at least one other student in the class in your discussions. That would be appreciated. So your grades, it's quite simple. You can always check your grades in here. I will keep them up to date. I will try to be as timely as possible on those. And the syllabus is in here as well. The things that you want to take note of is exactly what I talked about. This section here is about the timing of the class. Class 7, when it says work session, basically there's nothing happening in that class. It's just your time to get caught up on the stuff that you need to get caught up on, okay? And so that is what the work session is about. And then the modules, this will basically take you through all the videos and all the things that we put into class will be in the modules, and they're labeled by class 1, class 2. The videos that I was going to show, but I was just experimenting a little bit in the beginning, and I'm not sure that the videos are coming across clean enough. So all I'm going to do tonight is I'm just going to talk about the videos and what they're about, and then you guys can view them at your pleasure. They're short, Dalton Sherman videos, I think 7 or 8 minutes long, and the Happy Secret's about 12. So you should be able to get caught up and figure out what's going on from there. So a little bit about myself. I talked a little bit in the opening video. I'm a second career educator. That my first career, I was a soccer player for 10 years. I played for a lot of different teams. I played in Montreal, Chicago, St. Louis, and Kansas City. Was very blessed to have a successful career there. It was fun, but I had to figure out what I wanted to do with my life when I grew up. And I was about 32 years old. I was a goalkeeper, and I was getting toward the end of my career. And I decided to go back to school and coach. I coached at SIU for a couple of years, Edwardsville, as an assistant coach in their soccer program. And that's where I was able to earn my master's in PE and my teaching certification. So went on a short stint as a GM for the St. Louis Ambush, and then worked my way into Francis Howell as a PE teacher, a health teacher, and a coach of the girls and the boys teams for 4 years. Went on to be an AP at Francis Howell North High School and an AD. And then I landed my job here at Hardin Middle School. For the last 11 years, I've been proud to serve as the principal of Hardin Middle School. So I'm old. I've been around the block a few times. I've had a long life. So I will more than likely tell you boring stories throughout this class. I'll actually use the stories in a scenario based. A lot of what we're going to do is an AP is an assistant principal and an AD is an activities director. I'm sorry. Thanks, Suzanne, for asking that question. So what we're going to do is this class is a discussion-based class, and it's a groups-based class. So I'm going to use the breakout session rooms, and you guys will go into different rooms and you'll have conversations. Tonight, your conversations are going to be very simple. They're going to be about yourselves to your colleagues in the breakout rooms. The thing that's going to maybe make you uncomfortable is that I will give you guys will all take a number while you're in your breakout room. So if there's 4 people in your room, you'll number off 1 through 4. So at the end, when you come back and join the big group, I will call out a number, and those numbers will talk about everybody in their room. They'll talk about who they met, where they teach and a little something about them, something very brief. And so that is how we will force one another to communicate with people that we don't know, that some people that we do, but it also is going to force us to listen, and you can't hide in the class. If we were in the class, if you were in the class, Nick, you just have to pay attention. And so that'll make it not so scary. So, this is the really mild version of what's coming down the road. So you'll grow to understand the way I do business. And so, but this is a communications class, right? And so we're in a situation where we are going to have to step out of our comfort zone. I'm going to talk to you about situations where people got in my face, where people did the unimaginable at the school, where adults wanted to come across a table at me, where kids, you find out there's horrific things that happened, and how are you going to deal with those things? Things that make you uncomfortable, things that make them uncomfortable. And we're going to talk about, from an administrator standpoint, how do we communicate things with the internal publics, with the external publics, and with our staffs. And hopefully by the end of the class, you'll feel equipped and comfortable enough to have those conversations with folks, and maybe even sit back and remember when you had those conversations in your PR class for schools. So with that being said, we have 22 participants that are on right now. And so I'm gonna break you out into 4 groups of 5. That way, when we talk, one person will talk about 5 people. You might want to get yourself a piece of paper and a pen. So when you're learning about your colleagues that quickly, and you're going to introduce who they are, once those introductions take place, I'd just like you to do me a favor. Whoever's being introduced, just wave your hand and wave at everybody, but you're not going to have to talk tonight. You're just going to sit back and let your colleagues sweat it out as they try to explain who you are. If they get it wrong, if they call you Terry and your name is Tina, you just put in the chat, "Hey, my name is Terry. You weren't listening." And so, but with that being said, we are going to also try to have fun with one another. When I say that, we live in a world where people love to point out people's mistakes. In education, it's funny. People love to point out your mistakes, and they're very, the grace that they give you is not necessarily the grace that you deserve when you're a teacher or an administrator, whomever. And so we will, in this class, we're going to make an agreement that there's really no judgment. We're going to have fun with one another, even if we disagree, because I promise you, we're going to bring up some points that that the people in this room are going to completely disagree with one another on how they would handle a situation. And that's understandable. It's good to disagree, but we will also agree that we're going to be respectful to one another, and I'm assuming that we will. Now, I have had a couple classes that got a little bit crazy, and we had to remind the folks of the norms of that class, so to speak. So one of our norms is going to be respectful. I'm going to open with the story of Hardin Middle School, and I'm going to do it real quickly. And also, I wanted to let you know, you can plan on, in this class, you can plan on about 45 minutes is what I've slated. We're going to see how it goes. But so I'm going to have to keep my story short and sweet. If we were at the building, that wouldn't happen. So the story of Hardin Middle School is they asked me to come to work at Hardin. One of my friends, as I was an AP at Howell North, they said that we have a job for you. You need to come to Hardin and be the principal. And they said, the reason being, Hardin's reputation, the name for Hardin Middle School is Hell on the Hill. And it was a school where allegedly there were fights all the time, and and people were afraid to go to school, and parents didn't want to send their kids to the school. So I did a little bit of research, and at the very last minute, the 11th hour on the last day that you could put an application in, I put it in at 11 o'clock at night because I really didn't know whether I wanted to do it or not. And so when I did apply, I decided, okay, I'm going to come and visit the building. I want to see what the building is like before I actually go into an interview. And they let me come. And my first day in the building, the principal was in the main office, and all of a sudden I see a tussle, and down the principal goes. Him and a kid is hitting the principal, and they both went to the ground. And so they broke it up. One of the bigger teachers broke it up, and so they said, "Oh, don't worry about it. That stuff happens." And so that's just the way middle school is. So we walked down into the cafeteria, and there were kids that were laying on the top of the cafeteria tables. They're literally laying on the tables as they're talking to their friends where people are eating, and there's trash everywhere. And the custodians are cleaning up 2 giant bags of trash in between every lunch, because kids didn't throw their trash in the trash cans. They threw it on the floor. They threw it wherever. And so there was a lot of language. There was a lot of, it was interesting. And so I asked if I could interview a couple of kids, and I did interview them, and they laughed and said, "Why do you want to come here? There are fights. There's a place, you want to see the fight hallway?" And I said, "Sure." So they took me up to an area where the door is closed. It's an open area, and they would call out kids and they would fight. And so I was thinking, holy cow, maybe the rumors are true. And so I decided that I was going to change this building, and I decided I wanted to try to take on the challenge, and I was hired. I think I was probably hired because in my interview I talked about that situation, that experience, and I told them how I'd change that. And so I think they were looking for somebody to change the reputation of Hardin. And I don't know who I thought I was or what I thought I was, but I said I had a meeting with all the parents, and then first night of the meeting with the parents, there was 1,000 people in the gym. And I stood up there and I told them, we're going to change Hardin, because anybody who hits a child with the intent to harm them with a closed fist is going to go out here in handcuffs. I don't care if they're 12, 13, or 14 years old. And they had standing ovation. Everybody thought that was great. They were cheering. See, the thing was, though, I thought by just simply saying that and doing all that and saying that before I ever got here, I thought people would change maybe a little bit. And boy, was I wrong. The first day on the job, my first day, the bus ride in, there was a fight on the bus. 2 girls, I went to pull them off the bus. When I got into the lobby, there was a fight in the lobby. I pulled the 2 boys from the fight in the lobby, and I'm separating them all, trying to get them ready, and I'm flustered. It's my very first day as a head principal. And then over the radio, there's a fight in the hallway on the way to the first class. I had 6 police cars in Hardin's parking lot before the first class started. And all of those kids went out in handcuffs. Because I thought to myself, I just made this promise. If I don't do it now, no one will ever respect me. Well, long story short, we had 78 arrests my first year, 56 in the first 2.5 months. And it was ugly. It was terrible. And I thought many times to myself, what the heck have I got myself into? But bottom line was, I made a commitment, and I lived up to that commitment, and then we worked through it. And so I'm going to talk a little bit as this journey goes on, because I will tell you this. For me, that was a mistake, and I'm going to tell you why. And I'm going to tell you about all the mistakes I've made, which are many. But I don't know that I would do it again the same way. But we'll talk about that. And we'll talk about how I communicated that with parents. We'll talk about how we communicate that out, and how perhaps you would when you get yourself into situations. So tonight, the first thing I want you guys to do just quickly, and I'm going to experiment with this chat room. I'm going to break you up into the 5 groups. It's going to randomly assign you to groups. And have you guys, hopefully, it's my understanding that all you do is then you sign back. It'll give you a prompt what group to go to. You go to the group. I'll send you a message. I'll let you guys talk for about 8 minutes, 10 minutes. I'll send you a message. It's a 1-minute warning that you're going to have to come back and rejoin our group. So is everybody good with that? Thumbs up. Everybody's mics are muted now. Thumbs up. All right, here goes nothing. This is going to be my first breakout room. So good luck to me. So let's see. We're going to do 21 participants into let's make 5 groups. That'll make it easier to get through them quicker. So I'm going to create the rooms. Okay, the rooms are all created. I'm good. I'm going to open all the rooms, and I want you guys to go to your room. I haven't said that in a long time. Everybody go to your room. All right, and then I'll close them. I will come in once in a while and join them. Don't forget to number off. Good job, everybody. Everybody's going to them. Aaron and Veronica, you guys are okay? Are you guys okay? Good job, Veronica. I think we're all in now. Aaron, maybe not. How you doing, Aaron? You in the chat? You want to talk to me? Good job.
Because that's kind of my deal. And yeah, nice to meet you guys. Sorry, those are my German Shepherds.
You guys want me to go? Okay. So I'm Paige, and I teach for Special School District. I'm partner in Hazelwood. So I teach, I do elementary and resource. Been trying to figure out this whole virtual learning thing with my special ed kids. But we've been doing Google Meets, and so it's been going well.
Okay, I'm Danny. I teach in Wentzville. This was my first year, and I was part-time. I was actually just contracted 1 hour per day, but outside of that, I would substitute teach the rest of the day. So I had 1 hour of PE, and then I would be all over the place. On top of that, I also still worked full-time midnight to 8, pretty much most nights before I would go into school as a table game supervisor at Ameristar. Luckily, I have obtained a full-time position for this coming school year, so I won't have to be so crazy this year. So I'm excited to just be in one spot.
Well, I guess it's my turn. Well, I guess you can say I'm the new kid on the block. My background actually is business, still is business. I'm very much involved in business aspects thereof. I'm a independent business owner.
Virtual instruction and how they've attacked the problems and kind of dealt with adversity. So
Awesome.
Allison.
I think proud of, I'm actually proud of my students. They like handled this virtual reality learning way better than I thought they would have. Of course, there's always a few that like were
I really like to work in foreign policy. That's my goal. But I would certainly like to maybe teach at the college level over something having to do with Middle Eastern history. Even history of Islam. There's a lot of things in there that are very interesting that I think a lot of people, especially Americans, we don't really understand. And as everybody knows, it's really a hot button issue. It has been for like the past 20 years. So, but yeah, that's kind of what were you going to say, Gina?
I was going to ask what your undergrad was in.
So I had a double major in criminal justice and international relations, sorry. And I was trying to do a third one in history, but they changed the job that I do here. So it really wasn't possible for me to continue as an undergrad. So I had to graduate, and then I got this job here.
Savvy.
Right. Yeah.
Did you just come to listen to us? Okay.
Oh.
I'm just checking on y'all. I got little snippets there, but I'm wondering who's what number. So we're going to find out who's going to share out in the end.
I'm 1.
Oh, don't tell.
Oh.
We'll renumber. When you leave, we'll renumber.
We'll renumber.
Yeah, we'll do.
It's great to see you all. I'm glad we're laughing in this time. So that's
Yes.
Absolutely.
hopefully if we were in class together, we'd be laughing a lot, I promise. And so hopefully we can recreate some of that.
Good.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Semester. I can't believe it's like now we're back in class, but made it.
Hi.
I'm just jumping in for a second. I'm just listening.
You're gonna chill the conversation.
I don't want to chill the conversation. I hate it when that happens.
But yeah, I don't really remember what I was just saying, but yeah, so I got my master's in gifted education, and then I graduated in December, and then I'm starting right now. So I'm excited to.
So are you getting your ed specialist first then?
I'm not sure. So I'm not sure what that is.
So, because a lot of the people in my courses they're getting their ed specialist degree, which is basically the master's, then ed specialist, then doctorate. And they're all 3 2-year programs.
I don't think so. I got my I went to SIUE actually and got my bachelor's in elementary ed and then an endorsement in early childhood, and then I went to Lindenwood for my doctorate or my master's in gifted, and then I'm getting my doctorate in curriculum and instruction with an or instructional education with an emphasis in curriculum instruction.
And they said it'll be 2 years?
I don't know. I'm sure it'll be like 3 or so. I don't think it's like any set program. I know that I just have to like I'm taking 2 courses at a time to until that is up, basically.
Gotcha. I'm just curious. That's so cool that your district pays for
Yeah.
your schooling. I mean, that's like
I think
ideal.
that we each
My
have, like,
school.
I think that every employee or every certified teacher has, like, I want to say like $30,000 set aside for, and then that you can use that for like whatever you want. And then, but what was nice for me, like 18 credit hours, since I'm in gifted, I had to get my gifted certification. So 18 of those credit hours were actually from a separate bank of money. So I kind of was able to start over with that other amount.
Okay, I need to know where that is.
Yeah.
St. Louis Public Schools. A lot of people don't take advantage of it, surprisingly. So like they just don't want to do schoolwork, and
That's so annoying. I'm
money.
so annoyed by that.
Yeah. But
Oh my gosh. I just like cannot get over that. That is the coolest thing ever. I mean, my district isn't even.
Yeah, he was great.
Yeah, it's fun.
You like him a lot.
Yep, Dr. Bergner. Yep.
Yeah. You won't need a book for that one either.
No, he's awesome.
Great. I
Very
was
like
like,
down to earth, very like practical. A lot of good experience.
Lord, I don't know what I'm signing up for.
Well, you know, Bergner and Eichel are both APs in the same building. Yeah.
I loved both of them. I thought they were like really good resources.
He's back.
Quicks, I like that.
Yes.
What's
Quicks.
Quicks. What's your first name?
Kiara.
Kiara Wicks. Okay, Kiara Wicks. Quicks.
Hey, Wicks. Hey, Wicks or Quicks, either one.
Hey, Wicks, Quicks.
Okay, we're waiting for everybody to join back in. We got a few more that are coming. Okay, everybody, mute your mics. Number 2s are going to be doing the introduction. So, let me see. In group 1, did you guys see that? What group number you were in? Did you see that when you went in? So let's go group 1. Number 2, you're on.
All right. I think we were group 1, if I'm not mistaken. My name's Josh Zuckerman to everybody. I'm currently a K-5 elementary art teacher at LeMasters Elementary, part of the Riverview Garden School District. I actually just accepted a position in Denver, Colorado to teach high school art. And my wife and I are moving in 2 weeks, so we're really excited about that. 4 people ahead in my group. The first person that spoke was Chris. If you want to raise your hand, there he is. He is at Francis Howell. He's taught 3rd grade, and he is the lead chair, if I'm not mistaken, at Francis Howell. And then Paige, where's Paige at? There she is. And she is a SSD, part of the SSD school district. She teaches resource. And then there's Danny down there. You want to wave? And Danny, this is his first year he just did at Wentzville, where he was doing PE, but it was kind of a part-time position, and he
Uh-oh. First issue with our Zooming. Josh, you're cutting out. So we're going to go over, I think we lost Josh for a second. We're going to go over to group 2. Group 2, go.
You guys are just starting to come back in. Sorry, you guys. My internet's been kind of choppy. I don't know what the last thing you guys heard was. But I'm on Trey. Okay. And he is deals a lot with business. He already has gotten his master's. He does a lot of real estate work too, and he will be at McClure High School. this coming year. If I'm not mistaken.
Thanks a lot, Josh. You did a good job. Thank you. Our group number 2, go.
Which number?
Number 2. Oh, number 2. 2s are going to go all the way throughout the whole thing.
Oh, okay. All right. That's me.
Come on, Matt. Get with the program.
Hey, yeah, my bad. All right. So my name is Matthew Crow. I teach Project Lead the Way at Rice City Middle School. This is going to be my 10th year in education. I'm really proud of our staff. That was my proud addition. I'm really proud of our staff for how they've tackled the AMI process. And it's just been great the last 7 or 8 weeks. Allison, wave at everybody. There you go. Allison's at Maplewood, Richmond Heights. She was teaching 5th and 6th grade, but now she's switched over to math specialist for this upcoming year, and it's going to be her 8th year in education. And she's most proud of her students. They have, just like I was proud of the staff, her students have adapted really well, and she even had some specific examples of certain kids that weren't doing well before this happened, and now they're thriving. So that was good to hear. Jamie is in Pattonville. She's been teaching 2nd grade. She's going to move to 5th this year. This is going to be her 14th year in education, and she's proud of her own kids since this has been going on. Kiera is at KIPS STL. She teaches SPED. This will be her 5th year teaching, and she's really proud of her new t-shirt business. I don't remember what she called it, but she has something she's really proud of, and she loves it, something she uses to make t-shirts.
Hey, Wix Designs.
What is it?
Hey, Wix Designs.
Oh, that was the name that you named it after yourself. I thought I didn't recognize that. So
And I'm in love with my Cricut.
Cricut, that's what it was. Cricut. Thank you. Yeah. Hey, great group. It was fun talking to them. That's it.
Thank you, Matthew. Great job. Number 2, in group number 3. Where are you?
Right here. Hi, I'm Gina. I work for special school districts like Paige. I am a self-contained type teacher, so I have students that are alternatively assessed that qualify for MAP A testing. I am finishing my 5th year right now. I work in the Melville School District right now at Oakville Elementary. My classroom's K through 5. Right now my program, I'm doing the specialist degree. I got my, I graduated with my undergrad from Missouri State University in 2015 and then started teaching. I went to Lindenwood and got my master's degree in special education with an emphasis in autism, and then taught for a while, and then I decided to start this program in last fall, so fall of 2019. So in my group, I had Veronica. Veronica was having some difficulty with hearing. She could hear us, but we couldn't hear her, but she typed in the chat that she's a behavior specialist at early childhood at Fox, and she's doing her specialist in this program right now. I also have Nick. Give us a wave. Nick is in his 2nd to last class in this program. He's doing the master's for admin. He's a middle school music ed and choir guy. He also loves sports. He loves football and soccer. He has a really cute little daughter named Charlie, who's 1. And he actually met his wife at Lindenwood during undergrad. And he graduated in 2015 with that. And then we had Sky. Give us a wave. Sky actually works at Lindenwood in residence life, so he has a different kind of perspective on this class. And he's working on his doctorate of education with an emphasis in instructional leadership. And his goal is to work in foreign policy, which I think is really interesting. So I think he'll have an interesting perspective in this class. That's all.
Great. Thanks, Gina. Appreciate it. Group number 4. Where's my leader? Go ahead, Tanya. Start introducing. You got to unmute yourself.
Okay. Hello, I'm Tanya. I've been in the education field for over 20 years, mostly adult ed. So I taught GED classes for the majority of the time. This is my 5th year teaching 5th grade. So it's been quite an adjustment to go from adults to middle age kiddos. I teach in East St. Louis. I am a military brat. I call Alabama my home. So I'm a big fan of fishing and loving to eat seafood. I've met 3 other amazing people in the group. One thing we did share was that we all miss our kiddos. In the beginning, I felt like it was a great break, to be home from the kids. And now we're actually, we want to go back to work. We miss our kids. The first person was Tavonda, and she's been teaching for over 14 years. 10 years of holding the position of a leadership teacher. And she taught 1 year. The program was called Dropout Prevention, but she stated it had such a negative tone that they changed it to a graduation coach. So kids wouldn't assume this is where I come to drop out. And she'll be able to meet her kiddos in a couple of weeks for graduation, so she'll be able to see them and to tell them hi. The next person is Abby. Abby, I do not want to mispronounce your last name, so.
That's okay, it's Guccione.
Guccione, thank you. This is her 3rd year teaching she's been teaching at Francis Howell. She is a graduate from Mizzou. She's teaching, she taught 4th grade for 1 year and 5th grade for 2 years. Okay. And the next person is Kimberly. She is the head basketball coach at Windsor. She's teach Spanish, 10 years teaching Spanish. And it's Tavonda and Kimberly have a mutual friend or person that they know. So I thought that was pretty cool. Small world. That's it.
Thank you a lot, Tanya. So last but not least, on my group number 5, who's my leader?
That's me. I am Erin Cody. I am a early childhood special education teacher out in Warrenton. This is my 2nd year there, my 4th year teaching. I used to teach out in Kansas City area. I graduate this summer with my master's, and my thing I'm proud of, I guess, is that we are closing on a house in 2 weeks, our first home, so yay. One of our group members was Kathy with the C. Where you at, Kathy? There she is. Hey, Kathy. She teaches science at Fort Zumwalt North High School. She is in her 10th year, and she is actually working on running a half marathon in all 52 states, and she only has 3 left, which is Hawaii, Alaska, and Montana, which I thought was super cool. Next we have Suzanne. Suzanne, can you wave? There she is. Hey, Suzanne. She said her legal first name is Mary, but she goes by Suzanne. So if you see Mary sometimes, that's why. She is working on her doctorate. Sorry, so is Kathy as well. Kathy's working on her doctorate. Suzanne's working on her doctorate in educational leadership. She is currently working at Edward Jones, and it is her 3rd year there. She moved here from California, and she used to be a scuba teacher, correct, Suzanne? Yes, okay. Used to be a scuba instructor. And our other group member is Anna. Where's Anna? Hey, Anna. She is working in St. Louis Public Schools as a gifted kindergarten teacher. It's her 4th year. She is also going for her doctorate. And she just got a new puppy. So now they have 2 Dobermans, Cairo and Kane. And that's it.
Very good. Well, thanks everybody for sharing out. That was great. And I'm glad we always take the time on my first night to just get together and kind of break the ice a little bit, because we're going to get to know each other. I promise you, and I could promise you when we're all there, but I think you're going to get to know everybody in this class probably better than you've ever gotten to know people in your graduate classes, because the format is going to be such where we're going to throw out scenarios. You'll go into groups and you'll discuss the scenarios on how you would resolve them. And so we'll talk about the communication pieces on what that entails. What does that mean in terms of the communication with the kid? What about the parent? What about your colleagues? What about administration? What about the parents? And so that's kind of the format. Every class that we meet, we will open up with a scenario type situation, and we'll discuss it, and that'll drive some of the conversations. On the syllabus, it talks about your project and your site activity. Basically, what that is I do not believe in busy work whatsoever, and so your site activity is basically something that you would do at your school, or maybe that is already happening that you're going to enhance. And we've had folks do all kinds of things, from writing evacuation plans from one side of the board to planning color runs on another side of the board to creating videos, for the end of the year projects. It's something that you're going to do in your building, in your setting, to make a difference, and or something that you're going to enhance. Now, everything is going to lead up to that same site activity. You're going to see there's brochures, there's action plans, there's all those things, and we're going to learn about those throughout the coming weeks. And I will post examples of what people have done in the past, so you can look at, hey, that was a great idea, or that's a great format. And so my hope is that you leave this class with an activity that's going to be gangbusters, and it's going to make a difference for you in the coming year or 2 years, or that you've taken an activity that's already in place and you've made it better. And so no need to worry about that just yet. Don't jump in too fast. Next, on Wednesday, we're going to meet again, and then we're only going to meet on Wednesdays after that. And like I said, I hope that you'll look at the syllabus following those pieces. There are 2 videos that I normally open this class with a video. It's called it's a Dalton Sherman speech, and I set it up with, imagine you're the superintendent of a school district, and a new superintendent, and you've been charged with the opening day rah-rah. And depending on where you are, most places, that's something that's dreaded by most teachers. It's like, really, just get me into my classroom. I don't have time for this. And so I don't, what are you going to do? So you're trying to figure out a way that you can get the attention of your teachers. There's 20,000 staff members in this particular district. So this superintendent teacher proposed that he let a student speak, a student who was at the time 10 years old. He might have just turned 11. And so imagine you're going to do your opening keynote with an 11-year-old kid. How much courage does it take to say, okay, we're in this meeting, go. And so I want you to watch that speech and see what the power of confidence in kids can be, and what the power is behind, if you give kids an opportunity, how far they will soar. The other video that I'd like you to watch is it's called the Happy Secret video. And that's an interesting video from a Harvard grad that talks about what it takes. That they did a study on happiness. And so once you watch that video, there's an accompanying worksheet, so to speak, a journal. If any of you choose to do that, it's a 21 days secret to happiness. So if you practice these things for 21 days, you will create habits that will help you be happier. And I did that with some of my teachers a little while back, and it was an interesting journey. And so anyone who's willing to do that and make that commitment, check it out, will not have to do the final project. You will get your full points for your final project. So it's a little bit of an incentive. And especially in this time of isolation, a lot of the things really could help you out and would come rather easy. We will not have a final exam in this class. I've decided against that for numerous reasons. The textbook in this class is just a recommend. If you guys are big on building a book collection, that's fine, but I do not, the textbook's a little bit outdated, so it's not one that I push. Everything that you need in the class will be will be right here. And I don't use a textbook. I'm just gonna be honest with you. So don't waste your money in that part. So other than that, I promised you that we would be 45 minutes and we're already over that. I got a feeling this is a big group. You might want to plan on an hour, because if we're going to get into some really good discussions, I don't want to cut them short, and I don't want to cut you guys short. And it was great listening and hearing about a lot of you. And if we were in the seated class, we would be there about an hour and a half every night. I would always let people, we don't go for longer than an hour and a half. So if you will humor me, let's just play it by ear, because if we get into some really good stuff, I don't want to, this went surprisingly well in terms of the breakout room. So I think we can get a lot accomplished even if we're doing it virtually. So yeah, let's plan on an hour-ish for all these classes. So if you have any questions, put them in the chat. Yep, we will have, yeah, that means Wednesday we will have class. If you look at the syllabus, it says the Zoom begins at 4:30, and then there's no Zoom next Monday, and then there's another Zoom a week from Wednesday. So just follow the syllabus and you should be able to follow it pretty well. Yeah, the question was, is it going to be the same link? I didn't make this a recurring one. The next Wednesday one, I will make it recurring on Wednesdays. So I will send another link in the announcements so you'll know exactly where to go. And then after that, it'll be the same link. Good question. The substitute for the final project is the Happy Secret Challenge. You can see it in module under class 1. So just go to class 1 and you'll see the module. In the module piece, it says Happy Secret Challenge video. And then there's an accompanying worksheet. All you got to do is fill out the worksheet. The Folio Tech is a mystery to me. They say that this is a Folio Tech class, but I've yet to figure out what. They just told me this last spring that it was a Folio Tech class. It never had been before. I grade it, and I have to grade a rubric that I'm assuming is going into Folio Tech, but I don't see the Folio Tech side, so I'm going to work on that. I got to figure out what that's all about. But they're changing actually this class in the fall, so they're combining this class with another class. So we'll see where it goes. I'm not too worried about it right now.
You muted yourself, Dr. G.
Thanks for letting me know. Yeah, I usually use the space bar for it. So so let me see. I lost your sound. Okay, I'm good now. We're good. Is there anything scheduled for Wednesdays? The agendas will always be posted, but I post them as we go. So it'll be in. Just keep following the Canvas agenda or the Canvas class. And once again, if you go to Canvas and go to the actual modules, there's a class 1, class 2, class 3. It'll have everything you need in there. Okay. Okay. I think that might be it. We're at 5:25, 55 minutes. It was great seeing you guys. Appreciate the first night. Look forward to working with you. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to email me. We'll get the show on the road on Wednesday, and then we'll just meet every Wednesday thereafter. Take it easy. Be safe. Appreciate y'all. Take care.